see. You can just send me a hi or comment something over here so that I can understand. Hello, can you hear me, please? Somebody, can you please tell me that am I audible? Give me a thumbs up if I'm audible, if you can hear me. A light off. No, no, no. Yes, I think I'll start whatever I have to say. So, hi, I am Amrita Mitter. Good evening, everybody. I'm so sorry, due to some technical glitch, we were not being able to come live via this page. Uh, so, I'm Amrita Mitter. I work for an organization named Speech and Hearing Institute and Research Center. It is basically an organization that works for children with speech and hearing impairment. Yeah. So I'm quite fortunate that Shopno has given me this opportunity to speak about a topic which is very, very close to my heart, and I am completely for it, and I work particularly for this objective in mind that my children, children of SHIRC, can ultimately be accepted as an individual, as a part of the society, can be included as a part of this society at large. Yeah. So, so since it's about us, about the society at large, I want this session to be very, very interactive and not academic at all. I don't know what Chaturpati has to say about this, but I want this to be extremely interactive, and as a social entity, as people from this society, I want you all to talk to me and listen to me just for a few minutes, and you can even revert later, giving your opinion and giving your suggestions about what I'm about to say right now. Uh, so, as a child, we must have seen children who are basically in our respective classes in our schools, uh, who are handicapped or disabled. As a child in my school was very, very inclusive. I must say, without taking any name, I must say that my school was extremely inclusive. And as a child, I have seen children who were visually impaired, who were orthopedically impaired, children who had autism, maybe even ADHD, and the teachers were extremely compassionate. They were sitting just right next to us, and they were learning, and they were not segregated. And they were our friends at the end of the day. There was always a child and always a friend of that particular child who used to help her work through any kind of difficulty, and the teacher used to always encourage. But nowadays, I have seen that with too much knowledge and with too much of information, I think this is a bug, that we tend to become inhuman, we tend to become less compassionate, and we have we are very conscious about the fact that a child or an individual who is disabled, who is handicapped, is sitting just right, beside us, and we tend to become very, 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 very rigid and very, 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 very. What do I say? We tend to differentiate somehow. We do not understand the word inclusion holistically. We do not understand the word, what do I say? We do not understand the word, uh, inclusion. Okay, so in a way, we were always inclusive back then. We were always inclusive. So as I said, that too much of knowledge, maybe through say live sessions, through videos, through magazines. Yeah, we have got a lot of information about a lot of impairments and a lot of what do I say, impairments and disability, and we are trying to segregate them. We are trying to distinguish them from the so-called normal people. So in the process, what we are doing, we are becoming less human. We are becoming less compassionate. We are trying to be super conscious and super frigid among someone who is not as capable as us. So, uh, in the back then, we were never, we never unnecessarily made them feel very special, or made them, we kind of made them feel one amongst us. So, in the simplest terms, inclusion in education specifically means a barrier free process of learning where every child, irrespective of their disability, impairment, their even minority, I would say, they get equal access to learning and the same opportunity to achieve something in life. So in India, the government of India launched the integrated education for disabled children back in 1974. Now, this was the first formal step towards the process of inclusion. Though I believe it was always there, but it was formalized, it was completely made into a pattern. So every school now has to, they can't deny, they can't say no to any child who is disabled, impaired, special, whatever you may call it. They are a part of our society. And we should also keep this in mind, that this is a disability is very much a product of the society. Like our skin color, which ranges from say whitish to fair, black, even dark to fair, this disability is also a product of the society. So we as individual are responsible for making them feel as one of us, because they are one of us. So it was in fact as early as 1966 the Kothari Commission had highlighted the importance of educating children with disabilities in regular school. So, supporting and celebrating diversity and inclusion in school always works. Because I'll tell you why. Because it gives an opportunity to achieve and create an environment where those with additional needs are not segregated or seen as the other. They are a part of the same community of learners. Inclusion addresses the negative cultural attitudes and misconceptions about people with disabilities or those who are members of minority community. So even in the remotest of the school, say a school in the remotest of rural area with maybe 10 children, with 20 children, we must address this issue of inclusion. This matter very with a very open mind, and allowing every children to come to the school sit with every other children in the class and get that equal amount of attention. Yes, we have to adapt ourselves. We have to kind of be knowledgeable enough to treat that particular child with respect and with the proper amenities required to teach that particular child. But the first step is that we shall not deny any child their right to education. So it often happens that when a child comes to a particular school, the school says that, and maybe it is true. I'm not saying that they are always lying or they are kind of ignoring their responsibility. No, they do not have that facility. They do not have that kind of technical knowledge to impart. Impart, what do I say, a particular student who is disabled, that technical assistance, in a way which the child will gain some education and valuable information. So in that case, what you can do is either you can contact someone, some organization who is dealing with this problem, call them. They might send someone, say regularly or in a month or in a week, someone to that particular area and teach that student, not neglecting the idea of inclusion. So she will help the teachers to understand how to deal with that particular child. Or they can even take training courses from RCI, Rehabilitation Council of India. There are a lot of courses, small courses, diploma courses, degree courses, whichever you feel like, and train this child. Believe me, we have done a lot of trainings. We have trained employees of government institutions. We have trained normal employees, normal children, teachers of school. Yeah. So not only the child who is disabled, but the entire society needs to be trained. You know how to deal with an employee who is a fellow colleague, maybe, who is handicapped, who is disabled, and how to address their problem. Yeah. So for inclusion to work well, schools and classrooms need to foster inclusive environment. But the question arises, how do we do that? Because we don't have time, we don't have that amount of knowledge, we do not have that amount of special educators. But believe me, it's very, very, very simple. It's very easy. So firstly, the key point is building relationships. The teacher and the student should foster a one-to-one relationship with each other. Yeah. So this can be accomplished by saying hi, good morning, good evening, come, sit, talk to me. How are you feeling today? Say the child is speech impaired, the child is hearing impaired maybe. So you can use either sign language, or you can use you can use TLM materials, you can use their auditory residual auditory capacity to speak to them and ask them that how are you feeling today. Because these children, when they come to school, they try to find a place of comfort, and they try to find a place where they will feel very secured, because maximum, believe me, these children are very, very unfortunate, and it is very unfortunate, they do not get that amount of attention at their homes, at their respective from their respective families. They do not get that much of attention. They are very, very neglected. So when they come to school, they kind of try to compensate, that feeling of security. They want that attention from the teacher. So sometimes they can even throw tantrums. They can make you feel that, see, I'm special. So show some compassion, show some sympathy. But again, as a teacher, you have to make them understand, know that you are equal. You and another child sitting just right beside you, they both of y'all are equal. So this notion will try to eventually, try to make them feel that I am also a responsible human being. I am economically useful for my country. I can be an economically viable unit of this country, earning an amount, helping my family members. So I am equal. I am no less than, say, my friend. Yeah. So this fostering of relationship is extremely essential, and believe me, it is very, very, very crucial. We sometimes tend to neglect this point. We focus on the academic part, we focus on the sometimes even mental part. We tend to ask them what has gone wrong, but before asking what has gone wrong, you have to eventually build up this relationship with that child. Otherwise, she will not feel comfortable enough to come and talk to you, and her academics will therefore suffer. Yeah. This can be accomplished by, as I said, greeting them each at the door, asking them about their interests, and using genuine praises in the classroom. That, well done, you have done really good. This is really good, much, much better than before. You should work even harder. You should push yourself even harder. So all these things kind of build up in fostering a very healthy teacher-student relationship. Second is celebrate diversity. So pay attention to the materials you use in class. This is very, very, very essential, I must tell you. So if you're using a TLM material for the particular child, so when I use a TLM material which kind of has, say, 5 children sitting on a bench, maybe I'm trying to show them that how a classroom looks like, what are the teachers supposed to do. So those children, set of 5 children, one of the children should be a disabled children. When you draw, you should keep this in mind, that one of the children should be a disabled child. So that the feeling of inclusion is just not a word. It's literally implemented in your day-to-day academic lesson plan. So you do not have to make that, you do not have to say it aloud always that you are equal, you're one of us, No, you can show it through various gestures, various TLM materials that you use, through videos. Yes, that's very important. You should show them videos every, say, Friday or Saturday if the schools are open. So you should show them certain videos that features a particular child who is disabled or handicapped, a special child who is equally mingling with the other children, so that this kind of gives them I have seen children smiling after seeing such videos. Believe me, and it brings such an amount of satisfaction that yes, I've ultimately made her. I've been able to make her feel at home. She is one of us. She is she is there, and she is one of us. Yes. So secondly, educate yourself. This is also very, very, very essential, to educate oneself before admitting a child among a group of, say, 20 or 30 normal child. So one child is disabled. So you have to educate yourself about how to deal with that particular disability. Say, for example, a child is, I had a child in a class where the child was autistic. Firstly, we were not certain about the fact that whether he was really autistic or not. But later on, we understood that yes, he had this issue because he was not looking straight to the. Generally, autistic children do not tend to look straight into the eyes of the teacher or anyone per se and speak. So the teacher was very infuriated and very, very angry that why is this happening? why is a child, because we kind of previously we used to deal with children only with speech and hearing impairment, but right now when the children come in, we screen them, then they come in and we understand that the child has certain other issues as well, and we do not say no, we are not the specialist, you go away. We do not say that. So we train ourselves, we adapt, we kind of educate ourselves through experts, specialists. We bring in people from various places, NIH, from various places, and we kind of try to understand how to create materials for this particular child. Yeah, so how to create certain TLM material or certain module or kit that can help this particular child to do good in life and to kind of address the issue in hand. So it is very, very essential. You can then educate your students. Education leads to understanding, which then leads to compassion and connection. This is a very, very important virtue that we follow in our school. That if you educate yourself, only then you can be compassionate to a particular child. So workshops, regular interaction with other NGOs or other organizations or schools that kind of has dealt with this kind of special disability previously. So in a way, you are always grooming yourself, and you are never saying that come, I am the best. You're never saying that I am the best, I know everything. Because every day, believe me, we find out something which is so weird and so not normal that we have to widen our understanding of the word normal. Okay, so thirdly, encourage interaction. Now, give students opportunities to interact with each other so they can build friendships and a sense of community. Now, see, when we teach students from the rural area, the remotest of parts where they do not have even electricity, water, they have a very strong community feeling. We should work on that particular feeling. So if a child, I can say, if it is a special child, believe me, if we train the community to address this issue, they all come forward. They help this particular child to walk through the difficulties of the life. They kind of give them, even I have seen communities raising money voluntarily, giving to the particular NGO, because we work in Shodhpur, remote villages in Shodhpur area, Mohishkota. Yeah, so we have seen that community rehabilitation works like magic. If you teach the community at large that what is this disability, how do we cater to this disability, how do we address this particular disability, believe me, the people who are really interested, and even people who are uneducated and they're unlettered, they come forward and take care of this particular child, because they feel that she is one of us, we should help her. This feeling of community should be nurtured. We should kind of work on this even more. And then encourage interaction, as I said, that let normal children speak with special children, which is very, very, very important. So it might not be that they are speaking like they're using language. So they can use other forms of interaction also. They can use theatrics, they can use sign language, they can use some kind of paintings, online, some innovative methodology that the teacher should invent and teach them to work on that. Yeah. Lastly, I would say strength-based approach. So every special child has a particular strength, and we should work on that particular strength to academically help him or her progress. So say if a particular child is very good in painting or say dancing, we can use movement therapy as a form of teaching them letters A, B, C, D, O, A, Ka, Kha. We can teach them how to understand EVS, the social sciences, through movement therapy. So it's a very vast kind of venture. We right now we have got into it, and we are kind of exploring these kinds of lucrative methodologies where we kind of teach these children to not only academically succeed but also work on their strength, particular strength. A child in our class often used to draw or paint beautifully. One day the child started painting everything black. So the teacher immediately understood that there's some kind of a problem which he is facing. Her strength is turning into her weakness. So there was a play therapy, there was a session of play therapy where all the children were included, including that particular child who was very good. She was also a hearing impaired child. So we understood that there was some kind of an emotional outburst that is going on because her best friend in a normal school where she also goes, there the best friend has kind of completely segregated her, and because she's growing up, the other child is also growing up and turning into a lady. She's understanding now. She is feeling that my best friend is not as efficient as other children, so I need to leave her and go. So obviously the feeling of inclusion doesn't come like that. We need to train children. The normal schools need to train normal children that how to deal. Don't breaking friendship is not going to help in the long run. So we understood that problem. Later on, the mother spoke to the other child, and believe me, the mother of that best friend was so compassionate. She brought her child in a center, and we made her understood that what she kind of has impacted this child, and obviously she loves her like anything. So this is how we should work on someone's strength so that we can understand where her academic progress has slackened. Maybe she is not mentally very stable anymore. So we can understand, we can build on that strength, making her a very, very strong person in the future. I think that is what we are all looking for at the end of the day. Now, teaching strategies of inclusion. How do we teach? How do we make strategies to teach, say, one child or two children, say, in a group of 30 children, they are disabled. And obviously, I am a teacher. I am not a special educator, but I want to teach something and in a way which can help or benefit the entire class at large. So, differentiate instruction. How do we do that? When teachers differentiate, all students can participate and work at their current ability. Say, what do I say? Say, right now in SHIRC, we are making, we are kind of working on a program which is Universal Disability Learning Program. What is it? It is basically, we have an activity center where under the same roof, we have children with hearing impairment, we have children with visual impairment, we have children with, say, autism, we have children with, but under the same roof, the same teacher is teaching all of them together. So this, in a way, saves money, time, efficiency, and also builds a sense of togetherness. And how does she do it? Because she makes, say, suppose the rabbit and the tortoise, the story of the rabbit and the tortoise. She kind of has made this particular story in Braille, which she hands over to a special educator who kind of sits beside the visual impaired. And then for the hearing impaired, there are videos showing that particular story with proper story, someone saying the story in front of them, enacting them, singing songs. So in a way, all the children are getting involved and taking something back home. They are understanding what we are trying to make them understand. So, which is very important. They need to take something back home. So we are successful in doing that. So the UDL program is successful in teaching all these children, and I'm so grateful that many of our patrons, they have come forward and helped create modules from waste items. We have created modules out of waste items. We have made stories, and we have made solar system with rocks, and with given away geography lab book, the folders. So we have done it beautifully. So it can be, if we can do it, anyone can do it. Yeah. So we can teach students with multiple, in a setup where disabilities, there are multiple disabilities. We can teach multiple, children with disabilities, and under the same roof. Yeah, and with the same set of teachers and apparatus. Now, making the objectives very clear. Now, this is very important. Say, we are teaching them about the various professionals of our society: a teacher, a sweeper, a milkman, a shopkeeper. At the end of the day, we have to make them understand, why are you learning this today? Because you want to understand that what is the professional value these people add to our lives. Yeah. So posting and reviewing objectives in age appropriate language helps all students achieve the desired objective of each lesson. It is especially helpful for kids with special needs. Lastly, adapt. This I have already said. Teachers are masters at adapting. We watch our students and constantly assess, slowing down when they don't understand something, then speeding up when it's clear that they've already got it. So we challenge those that are ready for more and provide extra support for those who need it. So this is something we teachers, I believe we all know about it, and we have to constantly adopt and constantly fight our own weaknesses, our own demons, and work, because teachers are very, very crucial and important individuals of the society. We should understand that they are one of the most important people in our society, who because of whom we are getting to understand that education is very, very essential, easy, and necessary. So, and we should also help teachers work through this. We should not always complain. Parents come to our organization and they always say, "Ei teacher ei koreni, oi teacher oi koreni, eke ei bhabe ব্যবহার করা উচিত ছিল তার." So, see, they are also humans at the end of the day. So we also have to help them progress in their ways of teaching. We have to tell them, come on, this is something which you are not, which is not working out properly. You need to work on this. Yes. So explicit teaching and modeling. Model for students and gradually turn the responsibility over to the student. So the I do, we do, you do approach is especially beneficial to kids with special needs. So it gives them the support they need to keep us with traditional classroom activities. So responsibility building. I have already spoken about this before, so I won't kind of say this again. Have a positive attitude. Last but not the least, have a positive attitude. So as the teacher, your positive attitude about inclusion sets the tone for the rest of the class. So if you are very strict, if you are vigilant, if you are very, very clear about the fact that I am supporting inclusion, and say some other teacher comes and tells you that no, ami nite parbo na, ami ei bachcha ke nite parbo na, you take her and create a model which is successful. And then other teachers will try to follow you. Yes, this can be done, this is easy, this is not as hard as it seems. Yeah. So believe me, inclusion is good for all students. It is something, it is very positive. It is good for all students. It helps us all become very, very responsible individuals of the community at the end of the day. The strategies teachers use to make the regular education classroom appropriate for students with special needs are helpful for all students. Yeah, including students of all backgrounds and abilities increases tolerance and empathy among students. Inclusion is worth it. So I want to conclude uh, my session today by saying that from the primitive era, from way back in time, we have dealt with issues. We have seen people who were handicapped. So in Mahabharata, in Ramayana, in our epics also, we came across as children. We read about characters who were disabled. If we can accept that so easily and read that every day, and kind of say, oh, she was he was visually impaired, but he had the capability of saying the Maharaja whatever is happening down in the warfield. So isn't it beautiful? Isn't that what do I say? Isn't that wonderful that someone from that age can understand, can be compassionate towards someone who is visually impaired by saying that she or he had an inner eye to visualize something that is, he was far-sighted. So in a way, so scientifically, if I put it that way, so we as a modern individual should accept and include every form of disability in our day-to-day life. We should, from today only, we should start. Please, I request everyone to read about disability. First, understand disability. It is not something alien. It is not something hati gora emun kichu nei. It is very, very us. We are disabled in various ways. People who wear spectacles, yeah, they are somewhere visually not as great as people who do not wear spectacles. So we have to accept every form of human being as they are and help them academically improve. Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for hearing me out, helping me share whatever a little bit I have understood in this journey as a director of an organization which tries to rehabilitate children with special needs. And please, if you all have any question in mind, please come back to me and ask me question. Ask Shatrupad if you want to, and we will definitely revert. And Shopnapuran is doing an excellent work. Believe me, they are doing an excellent work, and I am so proud of you all that we as a society, we haven't forgotten the values that we should nurture. Yeah. Thank you so much for being there today. Thank you very much. I'll end my live over here. Thank you.